everyone, back Allie here again. I've got my guest here. He's doing some cooking in the kitchen. We're making a very sweet, delicate, soft, beautiful candy for Christmas. So let's get started. All right, so here we are. We've got everything ready. Adam is ready to make some Christmas divinity. So Adam, you're gonna get started. Tell us.
All right, we'll show you as we go.
All right, we'll flip the camera around and look at what he's got prepared for us.
All right, well, first thing we're gonna do is get the syrup going. I need a half cup of water.
Oh, I'll get out of your way. I'm gonna step over here. He's got to try to get around the puppy dog. There's Cooper, for all of you who know Cooper. He's in the kitchen always by his dad and or his mom, one or the other. All right, Mr. Adam.
Now 2 1/4 cups of sugar.
I'm going to come around this way.
If you have to.
I do.
You need egg whites at room temperature, so we have eggs sitting out that we've had getting to room temperature. All right, then we're gonna need a half cup of corn syrup.
And you're putting all those together in what?
This is to make the syrup part of the candy. This is gonna go in the.
And you've got it in what?
Nice heavy 2-quart saucepan. You want to eat it slow and easy, not a thin pan. You'll burn it. Divinity's hard candy to do. There's a lot of steps here.
So this isn't for the faint of heart.
No, this one you got to be willing to dig in there. This is a long process to make this candy. While we're talking about that and getting this ready, you need a heavy-duty hand mixer if you're going to make this without one of these.
Oh, so we'll zoom into that. That's
because the mixers they make these days are really lightweight, small motors. Before we bought our first flip-up KitchenAid, which worked, but it was a lot of work in that little thing. I went through 3 blenders one year trying to make this.
Mixers, you mean, or blenders? Mixers.
They're the same thing.
Okay.
All right, and then we got an 1/8 teaspoon of salt. See, it doesn't go down that far. Take half of this. Put this on the stove, medium heat. Candy thermometer.
And the candy thermometer sits all the way in there?
This style sits all the way at the bottom of the pan.
All right, let's go take a look, folks.
It's got a guard at the bottom. It prevents the thermometer from hitting the bottom. So it's just measuring the ingredients.
And we want it on what? We want it on medium heat.
Yep.
Okay. And we're going to cook it to what?
We're going to bring this, we're not hardly going to mess with this at all. We're going to bring this up to 260 degrees, which is hardball. No less. If you don't get it up to at least that temp, this will not work.
Okay.
All right, well that's working. We need to get our egg whites ready.
And what are you doing there?
Separating the egg yolk from the white. We can't have any of the egg yolk in here because it's just like making meringue. It will not.
And you could keep the yolk and make a custard or something like that out of it as well.
Find the conversion to.
That's not necessarily lazy. That would be a smart tip. Save you time.
But these have got to be at room temperature, and if you just let the egg sit out, it's going to take about an hour. I mean, you can put it just in your bowl, and it will go quicker.
And absolutely no yolk, because
Nope.
it'll fail.
Yep, it will not fluff up.
And you want a mixer versus like a bread dough. What am I thinking? Oh, that would be my grandson in the back recording.
All right, there we go. We're prepped. We're ready. Now we just gotta wait till it gets to 260.
Close. All
All
right.
right, we'll see you. We'll see you once this gets hot. We'll be right back.
Go.
All right, we're back. Now we're going to get the eggs whipped up. We're gonna put a teaspoon of vanilla in here. Probably wouldn't need the vanilla. It is the recipe for just plain vanilla. But I always add it because we love vanilla, and a hint of vanilla with the flavor doesn't hurt anything. All right. We're gonna whip this baby on high. And as we said at the beginning, this is Divinity with a twist because we use flavoring. And today is going to be Jello brand blueberry, which I've never tried before, so we'll see how this berry blue, or most likely, yeah, blue raspberry, how it's going to taste. Never tried it. I'll be making a second batch, which you guys won't see, but that'll be with orange, which is one of the favorite flavors around here, along with raspberry.
And all the other steps are the same.
They're exact same.
So instead of
the Jello,
can't talk over me.
The Jello is just the flavoring, and
so as you work through this and you put that in at that time, if they wanted any other flavor, they could use whatever flavor they wanted, correct?
That's correct. All right, we are up to softball stage, so we're getting there. All right, as we can see, the eggs are whipping up, just as if we're making meringue. And we are going to add this in very slowly. We don't want our meringue to fall down. Smells good. Smells almost like a blue cotton candy. We're whipping this to a stiff peak.
And what does that mean?
That means, and I'll show you, when I pull the beater up out of here, the meringue will stay at a stiff peak.
A little in the air for pixie dust doesn't hurt anything.
All right, I'm pulling up.
Okay, just wait.
And
go ahead. Go ahead. No, I got it.
You know, how do I get this stuff off the side because we have to blend it in there. But the stiff peak is
That
just
looks like
about there.
Yeah, it looks like
We're
a
just
soft
a-
peak.
Yep,
Right.
we're just about there.
It smells good. It does.
Oh, there's probably a timing to this, but I've done it for so many years now. It's just kind of routine for me. There we go.
There you go. Here. I'll come that way. Or I'll come that way for that. You want to do that again? There it is. It kind of holds in there.
Yep, nice stiff peak.
Just like that. Looks good. Smells delicious. You could also add nuts. We do not typically because we flavor them and the flavors with nuts just don't go. But I think if you were to do like a vanilla, a straight vanilla with the nuts would be very good.
Yeah, if you don't add the jello and you're just sticking with vanilla, plain Divinity, the original stuff, you typically add pecans.
Chopped pecans.
Yeah, you can. I suppose if you're a walnut fan, you can do walnuts or probably
any nut, maybe. I don't know.
I'd be interested to try pistachios. That might taste good.
And the green color, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be one to try.
Yeah.
There's been a couple years that the stuff doesn't work out and it just goes right in the sink. We start over. Almost there. We got about 6 degrees to go. Like I said, we do not want it below on the temp. It's got to be over 260.
And how often a year do we make this?
Just at Christmas time. My mom made it when I was a teenager, and it's one of my favorite Christmas candies. And I decided to make it the first year. I think I made 6 batches, and one worked out. And gradually got easier once I understood exactly the mechanics behind what I was doing. Alright, we're almost there. This is hot liquid you're dealing with, so be careful, don't burn yourself. And there again, that's why I say we're using a heavy duty machine here, because you'll hear it. This sucker's going to slow right down once I start pouring, because this is, candy wants to turn hard, and we're trying to aerate it. Here we go.
Say it one more time.
All right, we're going to get pouring here. We're over 260 degrees, so we're hot enough to get what we need done. Turn this back on high, and we're going to slowly pour this in. I'm going to go to this side, which I typically don't do so she can record it. But just a small stream that you can see. Do not pour it in all at once, it'll clump right up. And as you're pouring it in, you'll see that it's really glossy looking.
I got it.
Now bunch of the syrup is splashing up along top of the bowl. Don't worry about it. You hear it now, the blender's starting to work.
I'm going to take you all over there and we'll take a look at what he's got going on. And just try to go slow. Oh, it smells so good.
I don't know if you're getting it on the camera, but that's really glossy looking. And we're going to keep whipping air into it until it starts to dull down. Which can take several minutes.
And it's typically a quick second and it turns, right?
And we're almost there. What,
Okay.
what we're waiting for is that it'll feed air into it cooling down. And as it cools, and we keep whipping air in, we get this nice fluffy. See, now if you come over.
Okay.
See how we're losing the glossy look in there and it's getting a dull finish to it? And as the blender's going around, it's really pulling big gaps in there. It's cooling down quite a bit. I mean, 1 year, there we go. I just got to check it.
And how are you checking it?
Kind of like the other stuff. Oh yeah, that's ready.
And what are you using? Yep.
Spoon. There's a couple ways you can do it. You can spoon it. Take another spoon, push it off. But as you see, I'm fighting with it. So I typically don't do it that way. I just get my thumb wet.
And tolerate the heat.
And I just push it off.
And that's like a teaspoon, like probably two teaspoons worth.
This is a tablespoon.
Tablespoon.
If you don't want them that big, you could use a smaller spoon. But I love my sugar, so we want big chunks. And you're going to do this at a fairly rapid pace because it's cooling down. And if you just leave it, it'll just set up to a solid mass.
And you can see you get a lot of pieces out of one batch.
And it's warm, even though it doesn't look like it's warm. I got some neuropathy in my hands, so I don't feel the heat as much. So, boy, it smells good.
It does.
We're gonna get this all out, and then we're gonna let it. I typically let it sit for a couple hours.
And that's the process of drying, right?
Yeah, we're
basically letting it dry.
The moisture out. Yeah. I mean, the recipe says that once it's dry, you can go ahead and eat it. You can eat it anytime you want, really. But the recipe says it lasts for 5 days. I'm here to tell you, you put this stuff in a Ziploc bag. It's sugar. It's going to last like any other candy. But what will happen is it'll just keep drying out to the point it gets hard. And you won't have the soft, fluffy flavor it has right now. It tastes the same. Building up on my thumb. I gotta get some of this off. I think my mom read this out of a magazine back in the 80s as a way to change up divinity, and I have yet to see anybody that's ever done it this way. Every job I've had, I've taken it during Christmas time to work, and stuff disappears pretty fast because I haven't found too many people that don't like it. But I make it look simple. It's just I've had a lot of practice at it. But you can see what it's supposed to look like. If you do a batch and it's coming out and it's kind of sinking, that means you didn't whip it enough.
It's a good tip. Can you then put it back in and can you re-blend it, or is it just kind of a... Okay, you got to start over.
Yep. That's why I said, you know, when I first started learning, I went through quite a bit of ingredients as learning how to do this because I wasn't paying close attention. And back then I was using just a hand mixer. And I had a heavy duty one, and I used it for a couple years before it burnt up. And then the following year...
So you could use a hand mixer if you really wanted to, and that's all you had.
Your hand is right here, it's hot. But there again, you got to try to find a real heavy duty one because a lot of the stuff you got right now is cheap. I mean, after my good one burnt up, the following year I went through 3 of them trying to do it and wasted 3 batches and 3 blenders. All right, there it is, people. A completed project. This is a blue raspberry divinity.
All right, so there you have it. We made divinity. Oh, he says it's good.
Yeah.
I need a little bit.
It turned out really good.
And it's like...
It's almost like cotton candy.
Kind of like cotton candy. Like soft marshmallow consistency. Yeah, very good. So there you have it, folks. If you like this content and would love to see more of Adam in the kitchen, go ahead and hit the notify button below and you'll be notified anytime I put up a video. Maybe we'll come back to Adam's kitchen and we'll see more of what he's got going on in the kitchen. Otherwise, feel free to subscribe to my channel. It helps me grow my channel and gets me going so that I can do more content and continue to maybe do some freebies. Also, we will have the recipe, the actual recipe. I'll link it down below in the description for you to take a look at and print out.
Feel free to ask any questions if you have a problem.
Yes, by all means, comment. If you have questions, I'll make sure that Mr. Adam gets those and we answer right away. So with that said, folks, have a blessed day. See you later. Bye for now.